Hello, lovely! In this video, we're gonna give you model answers and vocabulary about social media. I'm Maria.
And my name is Rory, and we're here to help prepare you for IELTS speaking and have a little bit of fun along the way on social media.
Yeah, so Instagram, Facebook are social media platforms or networking systems?
Networking sites, probably. Or if you have the app on your phone, then it's a social networking app.
Let's talk about social media. Do you like using social media?
I mean, I find it useful and efficient, but I wouldn't say I like it. For example, I use Telegram and WhatsApp and Facebook for staying in touch with people. But in general, it seems to create this bizarre sense of entitlement where people think that they should be able to get a hold of you whenever they want to. And I don't really like that part of it at all.
Social media, dear listener, we mean Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, WhatsApp, YouTube. All right, whatever you have, these are all like social media platforms, okay? They are useful and efficient. So they're kind of like efficient. You write a message and it's sent right away, okay? And your friend reads it like efficient, chom, 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 yeah, chop, chop, chop. And we use social media to stay in touch with friends. So to stay in touch, to stay in contact, to kind of like to talk to them. So stay in touch with my friends, my relatives, and random strangers.
You stay in touch with random strangers?
Well, on social media, you know, it's just like, you don't know this person, but kind of you talk.
Oh yeah, there are lots of people like that. It's really weird now.
What preposition should we use with WhatsApp or Telegram or Instagram?
Well, it's on the internet, so it should be on WhatsApp or on Telegram, not in.
So I stay in touch with my friends on Telegram, on WhatsApp, on Instagram. What did you mean by bizarre sense of entitlement?
Oh, I love that expression. I'm going to use it more, to be honest with you. So, a bizarre sense of entitlement just means it's an unusual feeling or right people think they have to do something, but it's not really normal. So in the case of social media, people have this bizarre sense of entitlement to your time, where if they send you a message, they expect a response immediately. This is not all people, but they treat it like it's a conversation that they're having. So because they've sent you a message, they expect one back, like you would have in a face-to-face conversation. But that's not how this works, because of course people are busy and they have things to do, and so they're not able to reply immediately. However, a lot of the time, sometimes people message each other and they think they should get this reply, which is a very bizarre sense of entitlement.
Entitlement is negative, so disapproving, okay? It's the feeling that you have the right to do or to have something you want without doing any work, okay? It's just like possessiveness, maybe.
Yeah, it's funny though, because as a verb, entitled just means that something you have a right to. For example, like you're entitled to a lawyer in court in many countries. And that's not a negative thing because you're defending yourself. So it's just this idea with the collocation, the bizarre sense of entitlement, or just a sense of entitlement, or even entitlement.
So people on social media feel that they can get a hold of you. So they can just like reach you at any time during day or night, and you have to respond, okay? People can get a hold of you like at any moment.
It's very funny, especially when someone contacts you from the other side of the world and they're like, why are you not replying to me? And the answer is usually, well, I'm unconscious because I'm asleep. So it's not always possible.
When did you start using social media?
Well, probably when I was a teenager, and I was using sites like MySpace and chat rooms on MSN. But I think I only really became a serious user in the early 2020s, and that's when I started to use things like Instagram to make social media posts in order to promote things.
I started using social media last year when I was at school, or you can say that I used to use chat rooms. Rory mentioned stuff like MySpace, MSN, like
Did you have MySpace, Maria?
No.
No, I think it's a uniquely sort of Western phenomenon, especially in the youth of many millennial people. MySpace was just a precursor or something that came before Facebook. And lots of teenagers were on there creating their own profiles and things like that.
I became a serious user, like user of social media. I became a serious user 10 years ago. Yeah, and I started using like Facebook, Instagram, for example, or I started posting things on Facebook, Instagram. So started doing something and you post things on Instagram or Facebook.
What do you post on Instagram?
I post food, my beautiful dresses myself, some funny pictures, beautiful pictures of food myself and Moscow. Maybe there's like some jokes as well, sometimes I post useful posts about IELTS. So lots of things to post.
I get why you post things about the dresses because they are pretty fab and your hair. But why do you post pictures of your food?
Because it's beautiful. Food is beautiful and people, are interested in what I eat because I eat beautiful and delicious food, and everybody likes looking at food. Do you, dear listener? Do you enjoy looking at beautiful food, delicious food? No?
I don't get it, but it seems to be a popular thing. So I always ask people why, and I get a different answer every time. It's amazing.
Kind of like you're sitting there bored. Okay, maybe you're hungry. So what do? You look at food.
How is that going to help?
I don't know. It's just like your boredom will go away. You're just like, oh, food. Yum, yum, yum. Do you spend too much time on social media?
Well, I mean, who decides what too much means? There are probably times when I'm on it and I would be better off doing other things, or I could be better off doing other things. But rarely am I just sitting there scrolling through reels on Instagram for hours on end or just doom scrolling Twitter. So I suppose it's not as bad as other people. There are times when I can get distracted, but I've got some very forgiving friends, so it's not such a big deal for me.
If the examiner asks you a question about do you spend too much time or do you do something too much, you can use Rory's strategy. Rory goes, who decides what too much means? So what does it mean too much? Too much for me is different too much for you, dear listener. And too much for Rory, we don't know like how much is too much for Rory. Do you understand?
I understand, but does everyone else understand? That's the key thing. But yeah, too much is a very subjective thing. It's down to your personal experience of the world. I mean, I don't know, people might say that I eat too much meat, for example, but I like to eat meat, so it's not too much for me. Same thing for social media.
And the question is like, do you spend too much time on social media? And you answered, I'm on it. On it refers to social media, right? So media is it.
Or I'm on the app, anyway. But the idea is that you're using it.
Yeah, like I'm on social media, I'm on it, I'm on social media, I'm using it, okay? Sometimes I would be better off doing something else. That's a very nice phrase. So I would be better off studying, or I would be better off working, or I would be better off doing sports.
And why is it doing after the phrase? Because this is super important, especially if you want to score over a band 6 on your IELTS.
It's just English. It's just,
No, come on. There's a reason why it's ing after off. Come on.
I don't know. Goodbye.
It's a preposition. So usually when you have the preposition, it's the ing form. Do you not remember this?
Oh, really? Okay. So it's kind of like I gave up overeating, or I took up doing yoga. Okay. But not always. After prepositions, you use ing.
Not always, but usually.
Very often. Okay, sweet. Social media could be a distraction. Okay, a popular distraction to get distracted. Okay, from your boredom. When you feel bored, you should get distracted. And you sit there scrolling, dear listener. So you scroll through.
So you just sit there on your phone doing that. I can't show you this with a phone because you're looking at my phone now.
Yeah, you just scroll with your finger.
Well, your thumb?
Or with your thumb. Yeah, with your...
Or in Russian, your big thumb. Your big finger, sorry.
Yeah, so I just sit there doing something. I just sit there scrolling through reels on Instagram. Or just like I sit there scrolling through Instagram posts. And also, Rory, you said doom scrolling.
Doom scrolling. Doom scrolling is a thing. And it's where you sit, usually on Twitter, and you just look through all the bad news and become slowly more and more depressed about how horrible the world is. So yes, doom scrolling is a bad habit, but just continuing to scroll, binge scrolling possibly, on Instagram, not a good thing to do.
Yeah, actually, doom scrolling is on Cambridge Online Dictionary. So doom scrolling, humorous. It's humor, you know. The activity of spending a lot of time looking at your phone, okay, dear listener, or computer, or reading bad and negative stories. So doom scrolling is about reading negative stories, so not good, okay? So doom scrolling for 2 hours every day won't help you to become happy, for example.
But what will would be scrolling through our Instagram, for sure.
And you can say that sometimes I keep doom scrolling for hours on end. Hours on end, a long time.
I did that once. I was just lying on my bed and I was looking up at my phone like, oh, it's so nice just to look through all the reels on Instagram. And I think I did that for like 1 hour. And I have to say I felt terrible afterwards. I did not feel productive at all.
Could you give us a sentence with doom scrolling and hours on end?
Well, you can scroll through Instagram for hours on end, but you could also, if you like reading, like I could read books for hours on end if I had the time. Or I can play video games for hours on end, and I do, and that's not good.
I can watch reels on Instagram for hours on end, like for a long time.
What could you do for hours on end?
Eat.
Really? That sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah, that's why. It takes a lot of time as well. You know, like you buy the ingredients, and then you look for a recipe, and then you design the menu, and then you cook, and then you eat. And then you wash and clean forever. What do you do on social media?
The same things as other people, really. I post updates and comment on things I find interesting. Although I think most of the time I'm just browsing and replying to messages. So I'm probably not as active a user as other people in that regard.
People do a lot of things on social media. Okay, so what do you do on social media, dear listener?
Be social.
So I post updates. I post pictures. I comment on different things. So comment on things. Okay, I share funny memes. I search for contacts. I look at profiles. Okay, I share and post videos. All right, I discover interesting events, dear listener. All right. Also, I fill my spare time, just kill the time, and I tackle boredom. So you deal with your boredom on social media. Also, you can say that I watch live streams when people talk to you live streams. Or I just browse and reply to messages. So scroll, do some doom scrolling, and reply to messages.
Maybe not necessarily doom scrolling. Sometimes I just look through Instagram and then I'll see I have a message.
You can say I'm an active user or I'm not an active user. So I don't use social media actively, like all the time. Or you can say I'm addicted to. I use social media all the time. I'm addicted to social media. Oh, Rory, I have my favorite joke. Are you ready? Okay, but first of all, tell us who vegans are. Who are vegans?
I have a friend, Jack, who's going to kill me. But if I don't say the serious version, that is. Vegans are people who do not eat any animal products whatsoever. And I believe a whole load of other ethical practices, but that's the main one that they're known for.
Okay, dear listener, and the joke is, which social media platform do vegans dislike the most? Google Meet. Google Meat. Dear listeners, did you get that? Vegans do not eat meat. Meat, like beef, yum, yum, yum. So they dislike Google Meat. Google Meat.
Sorry, all vegans, really.
Oh, come on, it's funny. I'm sorry if you're a vegetarian, but come on, it's funny, yeah? So vegans dislike Google Meat.
If you say you didn't like Maria's joke, it's also okay. Bye.
Google Meat. Bye.